Hello, this is Unlimited Splash, where we get better at Magic together through a new draft every day. And today I'm so excited to bring you a Arena Powered Cube draft because the Arena Powered Cube just returned to Magic Arena. The reason I'm currently sitting at Platinum rank in Limited is that I just got back from Toronto, where I played in the face-to-face games Limited Championship Qualifier. In that event, you needed 6 wins out of 8 rounds in order to proceed to a top 32 draft. And if you won that draft, then you qualify for the Limited Championships tournament. I unfortunately only racked up 3 wins before sustaining my 3rd loss, but better than 0-2, quite a bit worse than 6-2. So I live to fight another day, and I need to level up my draft game before the next big event. And what better way to do that than with an exciting Powered Cube draft? So let's jump into it. My understanding is that in the Powered Cube, they have substantially weakened red-based aggro strategies once again. So hey, maybe I'm leaning a little bit more towards combos, towards Reanimator, but oh my goodness, how can I say no to a pack one, pick one Ocelot Pride? I love Ocelot Pride in the Arena Cube. Let's see if there's anything here that jumps above it for me. Caracal has been really good in, well, of course, Powered Cube traditionally, but also in the Arena Cube the last few times that the cube has come out. So Caracal might actually be the pick here. We'll see how things shake out in the next few days. Nadu, of course, is really good, but traditionally, at least in the last iteration of the cube, it was pretty much the only reason to go green-blue or pretty much green at all. So starting with a pack one, pick one Nadu is not necessarily my ideal situation. Lightning Bolt, of course, has a lot of raw power, and there is some other cheap removal in the Fatal Push, but that has not usually been a very good card. And there's also a fetch land. So between the fetch land, Thraben Inspector, and Caracal, it's very possible, and Lightning Bolt, it's very possible that we wheel something that would go well with Ocelot Pride. But in my opinion, I think I'm happy to just take the 1 mana bomb in white. That tends to be a pretty good way to start out a Powered Cube draft. In this pack, Philia has been amazingly good in the cube traditionally, as has Flage. Screaming Nemesis, I think, is a more replacement level red aggro card. And again, apparently they did make the Boros aggro deck a little bit worse. There is a Mox Ruby, and it's really hard to say no to a Mox. And also, Figure of Fable seems like a nice addition to the cube. This card is just so bonkers. Boy, did I ever face this down a lot in Toronto. Unfortunately for me, because this card is not quite an auto win, but pretty close to it. So, I mean, I'm probably supposed to take Mox Ruby, but another card in this pack is Tolarian Academy, and I did not get to do the artifacts deck even once the last time that the cube was out, and I really wanted to because I loved playing artifacts when the cube was out 2 times ago, the first time it came to Arena. So I'm actually going to take this Tolarian Academy. I will say don't try this at home. The best pick is probably Mox Ruby in this situation. Maybe Philia, maybe Flage, but probably Mox Ruby. But I have a strong preference to play the artifacts deck. And by the way, Ocelot Pride can be sweet because you can end up making tokens in the artifacts deck, and white-based artifacts is actually okay. You do need access to blue mana when you're doing the artifacts thing, but I will say Balance is a really bonkers card in the artifacts deck because Balance doesn't make you sacrifice your artifacts, so I've found that a reason to play white and artifacts at the same time. Having said that, of course, we're not getting married to our pack one, pick one. Okay, in this pack, not so much going on, right? So I think Quantum Riddler, I don't know how good this is in Cube. It's certainly been breaking Standard open or Modern open. Containment Priest is kind of an interesting one. It goes really well with Parallax Wave, for example. And then we have some various dual lands. Pirate Spellbomb is a very low priority card for artifacts. So, and Nexus of Becoming I don't think is worth doing for the artifacts deck. So I think I'm actually maybe going to take Containment Priest for a simple reason. It could go in either a white-based aggro deck or potentially in an artifacts deck. It's maybe more of a sideboard card, but it is quite a good card. So I think maybe I'll take Containment Priest here, basically as a flex card, depending on what direction I really end up going in. And we'll see what ends up being open. Let's see. So I remember the lands deck was actually a little bit better last time. Chain Lightning is really punishing in best of one. I would be inclined to just not play it in best of one because it's symmetrical if your opponent is also in red, which is just not a good thing to be. I do like Duelist of the Mind. 3 Steps Ahead is a little bit tough because it takes 2 blue mana. And I mean, Remand is always sweet. Unburial Rites is like the worst reanimator card. The worst way of reanimating things because it's just so expensive. I'm kind of inclined to take either a white-blue land, although I don't think Celestial Prominent Colonnade is that powerful, or Duelist of the Mind. I know Duelist of the Mind is not the best. Actually, maybe it's just Remand here. I think I'm happy enough just taking Remand. Between Remand, Preordain, and Duelist of the Mind, I think I'll just take a Remand. And actually, we get rewarded here because Fractured Identity is an incredible card. If you haven't played with this card, this is an exile effect that also makes a copy. So it's sort of like a control magic, except it works on any non-land permanent. And it's better than control magic because you would get an enters effect if you exiled something that has an enters the battlefield effect. So for example, if you exile their Atraxa, you can get an Atraxa and you get the enters effect for it. I believe. I haven't tried that out, but I'm almost certain. This is a top bomb, at least in the last few iterations of the Powered Cube. And I am seeing some cheap white cards, although not very good ones. But that kind of reassures me that we're in a lane that makes sense. So maybe we're some kind of blue-white control situation. I don't know if we're going to end up playing a lot of artifacts. I haven't seen any other artifacts really, but we very well could. Sneak Attack is a really fun deck, but it's very, very hard to assemble. I think Ouroboros is fine. Eternal Witness can be good. Portable Hole is like, okay. It is an artifact that also is a cheap piece of interaction removal, but it's a very conditional piece of removal. So I'm not necessarily wanting to prioritize it super massively highly here. I think I'm just going to snap up the Triome in this situation. It covers blue and white, and it would make any future splash into black easier for us if that should come up. Let's see. Lorien is like perfectly fine, but I am starting to feel a little bit cut. I know Sentinel of the Nameless City was like the best green card or something. This just turns out to be statted really nicely and be really good at generating value. Having said that, I'm so hesitant to play green in this cube. Oh, they put Seer in. That's kind of cool. I don't think we have Call for Overgrown Tomb or Restless Vents. I might just take Lorien. I mean, Lorien is not good, but I do not want to get pulled into green just by a Sentinel of the Nameless City when green has struggled so much in this cube historically, and I'm really not seeing anything else in this pack that really speaks to me. So let's pick up a Lorien and see how this goes. Now, this is a artifact payoff, so I think I'm very happy to take that. Now, Fiery Confluence, Grim Lavamancer, Kroxa, it almost starts to be a signal that red is open, but I remember Grim Lavamancer was underperforming in the last iteration of the cube compared to how I expected, and I think it got worse in the cube last time than in the time before. So I'm happy to take a Karn. If I'm in blue and white and I already have a Tolarian Academy, I'm definitely on the lookout for ways of getting more artifacts. And also we did pass, you shouldn't think too much about what you've passed, but we did pass a Mox, the red Mox, very early in the draft. So the person next to our left, there's a good chance that they're looking for reasons to be red. I will happily just take a Thraben Inspector. Thraben Inspector makes an artifact, so it's synergistic for the artifact deck, and it's also good in any white-based aggro deck. I would not play any of these talismans. I would not play any of these other cards. I'm sure there's something grotesque that you can do with Formidable Speaker. By the way, you can untap a permanent your opponent controls if that ever comes up. Someone mentioned that at the event at the limited championship qualifier, and I thought that was really cool. Here, I'll take Ophelia. This card is absolutely amazing, so really happy to take this one. This was a top white aggro card in the cube previously at some point, so more than happy to have it. You can get lots of awesome flickering going on. Ophelia itself is just a pretty strong creature. The fact that there's also a Screaming Nemesis in here suggests that maybe people are being a little bit too skittish about Boros aggro. Here, I guess I'll just take the artifact. I mean, I think this was pretty much unplayable in previous iterations of the cube, but hey, we'd rather have an artifact than nothing at all, and pretty much everything here is nothing at all, although I will say Cut Down. It is always nice to have 1 mana instant speed interaction in the cube, ways of just chopping down your opponent's threats. Here I'll take a blue-red spell land. It's very possible that we do end up in some kind of Jeskai. I think that's a little bit more likely than ending up in blue, white, black Esper, so I'll just take the River Pyre Verge here. Unmarked Grave is a extremely limiting recursion spell. The reason that this is limiting is a lot of the best reanimator targets are legendary, so it makes sense that it's in this pack at the end. And I guess I'll take a Bloomy Marsh. I can't really imagine that I'm going to be wanting Manamorphose. I'm very much not married to blue at this point, so I think I'm white and something, and we'll see what that other something is. Okay, what have we got in this pack? Triplicate Titan is an artifact, but it is the worst, pretty much the worst artifact. Jace is very difficult to cast because of the triple red. Oliphant is nice in a reanimator deck, but that's not what we're doing right now. Lingering Souls has a lot of raw power. I actually might just take Lingering Souls. It's a pretty unimpressive pick one out of a pack, though. I don't really want any of these random Jund lands. And Pest Infestation is good and all, but very distant from what we're doing. You know, I almost wonder if I just take like Burst Lightning or something like that and see if maybe white-red actually is the place to be, given how late I got a Screaming Nemesis and there was a bunch of red open. Okay, so maybe we should start forgetting a little bit about this Tolarian Academy. You could imagine taking Burst Lightning and ending up in a Jeskai deck that does play Fractured Identity, but we would need a good reason to push our mana base to that, and we would need a lot of dual lands, but I think it's way better. It's just so much better than Triplicate Titan that I think I should just grab it. Here we have a whole bunch of different options. A lot of options, actually. This is almost a personality test of a pack. Monastery Mentor is good. Mana Tithe is really, really nice to have. Hellrider is awesome. I mean, this card is just worth so much damage. I didn't really understand it at first, but once I started playing with it, this card just does so much damage. Hellrider and Fractured Identity, though, don't go in the same deck. So this is pretty much a pivoting straight to blue-red aggro, or white-red aggro kind of a pick. So I'm very tempted by Mana Tithe. There's also a Lutri, which is pretty good, but I think it's a step below, let's say, Mana Tithe. I think I'll just take the Mana Tithe. This is just a good counterspell. Nope, not you, Mana Tithe. It's just a good counterspell. We could also take Meticulous Archive, but I have half a mind of thinking that might just wheel, given that we wheeled or got a Fractured Identity very late, and that's like the best blue-white card. Here we have the best removal spell that has ever been printed in Magic, namely Swords to Plowshares. There's also a Chromox and a Retrofitter Foundry, which are both fantastic payoffs for the artifact deck. I do think I am currently cut on artifacts, so I'm actually going to use this as a test to see if Chromox wheels or Retrofitter Foundry. Retrofitter Foundry is one of the best places to dump Tolarian Academy mana. However, I currently have one bad artifact, one card that interacts with artifacts, and no other artifacts at all. So I'm not inclined to start drilling deep on artifacts. What else could we do? Frantic Search is a combo card, but we don't really have the combo. And Force of Negation, Ponder, we have some little stuff like that, but I'm very happy to just take Swords. Very happy. Here I'm between, let's see, so Cryptic Command I love from back in the old days, but it is a triple blue spell, which is very, very, very hard to cast. We have Leyline Binding, but I don't think I'm going to be domaining it up too much in this life. There's also a Batterskull, which can be nice, a nice place to sink a bunch of Tolarian Academy mana, but I think I'm just going to very happily take an Astrologian's Planisphere. I'm going to be doing a lot of casting non-creature spells. I'm going to be drawing a bunch of cards, hopefully, and this is also an artifact, so it helps us in a kind of blue-white aggro-ish situation, but it also would power up our Tolarian Academy if we are lucky enough to see a bunch more artifacts. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. We have a lot of fun stuff in here. So I'm going to take Balance. Balance has performed pretty badly in the cube historically, but you have to be very creative in how you use this card. The thing that I pointed out with white and the artifact stack is that Balance makes everyone equalize their number of lands. Why am I struggling to read Balance? Lands, cards in hand, and creatures. There we go, but not artifacts. You'll note at no point does it say artifacts. So if I have out a bunch of random artifacts, a Karn, a Nexus of Becoming, whatever, and I cast Balance, all of their creatures are going to go away, and I'm going to get to keep my artifact team. So Balance it is. I would also be happy to play Mana Vault. This is maybe the worst mana rock in the cube, though. It's almost a one-time use kind of a thing, so I'm not feeling too left out by not getting to play it. Let's see. I mean, Spell Pierce is a combo buster, but you would rather have this in best of 3. Expedition Map is one of the weakest artifacts you can have. Displacer Kitten is a totally sweet combo card, but the combos have been few and far between in this cube with Displacer Kitten. Although, Astrologian's Planisphere, Containment Priest is a non-combo with it. I'm just going to grab a Chromatic Star. It's kind of a filler card that lets you have up your artifacts count and have one less card in your deck, essentially. And I'm going to be pretty happy with it. What does this do? I think this card was very, very weak last time. Improvise. So it is an artifacts card. and you get counters. So it is an artifacts payoff, but I think I'll just take a Phyrexian Revoker here. Someone could maybe put together a good green deck based on all of this stuff. I do think Crabomination didn't perform well, but it wins a lot of games. Actually, no, I think Crabomination is really good. And then I could also take an Enduring Innocence. Actually, I'm going to take Enduring Innocence. I think I can easily afford the double white, and I think it could just be good for me. Sundering Titan is a nice way of paying yourself off for the number of artifacts you have. Well, black is looking pretty open. There's also Expressive Iteration, which could actually be good with the number of red sources that I have access to, if I increase that count at least. But I think Sundering Titan, you know, you are looking for ways to sink a whole bunch of colorless mana if you do end up doing the artifacts thing. Kind of unfortunate that we got back Pest Infestation. I think that card's good. I'm really not going to be playing the triple black, or the triple red, triple blue, sorry, for Jace. But speaking of black and red, there are a bunch of black cards, there are a bunch of green cards, but nothing. I do actually think Titania is pretty good, but nothing that makes me think that I'm like massively in the wrong lane or missing out. And then I can take a Mere Battlesphere. It's quite a terrible payoff for Tolarian Academy, but it technically is one. I could also just take Meticulous Archive here to smooth my mana a little bit. But I think we need to start investing in artifacts if that's where we're going. And holy smokes, folks, we did wheel the Retrofitter Foundry. That makes me feel great. Retrofitter Foundry is both an enabler and a massive payoff for the artifacts game plan. So now I think we are pretty much alone in artifacts. Take the Bank Buster, and let's see, what was the other? It was some Mana Rock. What was up against the Retrofitter Foundry? Here, I guess I'll take Chromehost Seed Shark. I think this card's too slow and understated to be good, but let's see if we can put someone in Reanimator, which is really different from what I'm doing by passing some Reanimator stuff. Oh yes, it was the if you control 3 or more artifacts. That's what I thought. It was no, it wasn't. It was exile a card and make something of that color. Yeah. So that doesn't mean that someone else is in artifacts. That's what someone took over Retrofitter Foundry. It doesn't mean that they're in artifacts, because Mox Opal is the one that makes mana if you have 3 or more artifacts. My artifact count is currently too low to run Mox Opal, but I think it's time to just try to make this work, because we have enough artifacts, cheap artifacts, and enough artifact payoffs and a Tolarian Academy. We really just want to be in artifacts if possible. There is a Strip Mine, which is awesome. Solitude is good. Let's see. Barrowgoyf is really good. Snuff Out is kind of nice, and Timeless Dragon, I think, could be good for us, but all of those cards are a big step down from the just digging in on the artifacts and taking the Mox Opal. And what is better than Mox Opal? Mox Pearl. Very happy to have Mox Pearl. I actually would love to wheel Wrath of God, Esper Sentinel, Consult the Star Charts maybe, or Memory Lapse. Any of those I would very happily play. Honestly, I might even splash a Mind Twist. That's a sweet way to sink Tolarian Academy mana. But my goodness, Mox Pearl, that is the card for us. It makes double mana if you have Tolarian Academy out. We are thrilled to see some Power 9 for our deck. Winds of Abandon is really good. It can get you out of some tight spots. You exile a creature you don't control, and they get a basic land, but you can overload it to make it a just purely one-sided board wipe. The question is whether I can afford to take Winds of Abandon versus taking a Tundra. Let's see. I'm not playing this. I'm not playing that. Very unlikely to play Mere Battlesphere. I probably don't play Enduring Innocence in this version of the deck now. You are essentially a land. So now I'm looking at 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rather. So I'm looking at 19 cards here. Yeah, I think I need to invest in more playables and not take more lands. So I'm going to take Winds of Abandon. It does take double white. Candelabra of Tawnos, you know, this card has a terrible win rate. Wow, Fury is in this pack. Yeah, red was really open from the right, wasn't it? But I love Candelabra with Tolarian Academy. This is like a super mana accelerator. Having said that, maybe I take No More Lies and I'm going to try to wheel the Candelabra. Candelabra is a low performing enough card that I think a lot of people are going to pass it. And I have Tolarian, which is the main payoff for Candelabra. And Candelabra is pretty weak if you don't have Tolarian Academy out. In fact, it's unplayable if you don't have Tolarian Academy out. So even though they go together, you know, you would probably need a way of like tutoring one or the other to make it really good. So I'm just going to take No More Lies. How good do we think Ongswift's Savior is? I'm really happy to see that I'm alone in blue-white, by the way. Airbend another creature. So I can recast Sundering Titan. Seems like a good defensive card. I like the idea of making my mana a bit better, but hey, aren't we going to wheel one of the 2 blue-white lands, probably, out of this pack? I'll take Ong. I mean, we just saw blue-white land, then we saw 2 more blue-white lands. I'm making a bet that I'm going to get to wheel one of those. Oh, Vivi. Can I play Vivi with my double river or my... Oh, I'm not playing Restless Vents. I just have a river, Pyre Verge. That's my only red source. Yeah, no. Maybe I just take Mightstone and Weakstone. This card's good, especially if you can flicker it. Let's see. Philia can flicker it. Yeah, what did I say about Philia being awesome? Do I have other ways of flickering it? Yeah, but anyways, I'm just going to take it. If I can get another way of flickering it, I'll be even happier. Ooh, Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith is a good one. I mean, there's also Snapcaster Mage, which is a totally sweet card. I don't even know what to do. I mean, Narset's also kind of awesome. It's definitely between Grim Monolith and Snapcaster. I think I'll take Grim Monolith just because the number of payoffs that I have for having tons of mana is like pretty extreme at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I probably need to cut 1 card after this. I probably am going to play... Oh, they put Thirst for Identity in. Good. I love this card. But this is really a Reanimator card, probably. I think Virtue of Loyalty is pretty bad. Yeah, I guess I can take the removal spell. I mean, I don't really want to be running Haywire Might. Maybe I cut Chromhost Seed Shark. Could even cut Lorian, although I don't think it's so bad. Okay, now we're really just hoping to see some lands. I really want to have wheeled some of those white-blue lands. I feel very alone in the white-blue lane. This is 29, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably won't play River Pyre Verge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grim Monolith is not a land. Well, I'll definitely take the Timeless Dragon. I mean, Plane Cycling could be good. Probably not going to play it. Wrath of God, I will run. Yes, very happy to see Wrath of God come back, and it's making my deck. Okay, yes, this is a... Oh, no, that's not a Triome that's relevant to me. Okay, well, I'll take that anyways. Hopefully someone is living the Storm Dream downstream of me and is going to be thrilled to see that one. Probably I'll actually cut Nexus of Becoming, right? I never wanted to play that card. Soul Guide Lantern I could technically play. I don't think I'm so all in on artifacts, though, that I want to be doing it. I do wonder if someone else was in artifacts. And look, other people have been taking my blue-white stuff. Kind of feels like I got cut at the end there, so that's too bad. Pinnacle Emissary... Yeah, I can only pay the warp cost because I don't have those red mana sources any longer. Okay, our deck is looking okay. It's looking okay. So let me do a little bit of building and tweaking, and let's see what we're sitting on. Okay, I think my deck looks a little something like this. It's not an all-in on artifacts deck. It's kind of a control deck with like Wrath, Balance, Mana Tithe, Swords, sort of, with the artifacts sub-theme being the way that I win. Maybe Astrologian's Planisphere or some other are also win condition cards. I'm going a little bit light on lands, but I have a very low curve, and between Mox Opal, Grim Monolith, and Mox Pearl, I think we add up to 17-ish lands. So, all right, let's see how this goes. I do post a new draft video every single day, and I try really hard to talk through all of my decisions and be really clear about my thought process. I'm a Magic improver, and I hope to help you improve at Magic right along with me. And so... if that speaks to you, do go ahead and subscribe using the subscribe button in the link below. I am going to keep this hand, Mox Opal, looking very weak, right? I probably should not be playing Mox Opal if we're being real. Although, at least with Tolarian Academy, it does generate a mana. Oh, it's the Artifacts Mirror Match. All right, so my opponent already could activate a Mox Opal if they had one. Lava Spur Boots. Wow, this is kind of nutty. Yeah. This is one of those starts where it's like, yeah, I'm not sure there's much that I could do about this. Instead of starting with Rafine's Tower, I'm just going to plop down my plane so that I have access to Swords to Plowshares. My assumption is they're going to play Pinnacle Emissary, and then in response to them equipping the boots to it, I can Swords it. Attacking first makes sense. Yeah, this is one of those starts where it's like, yeah, I'm not really sure that I can do that much differently. Okay, so they're holding up a counter spell. Let's just go ahead and play a island and pass. I don't really want to get countered here, and I do have swords up. Oh, it's Hull Breacher. So Hull Breacher with Pinnacle Emissary is kind of a combo. I think I'm just going to get rid of this right now. I mean, one thing to do would be to target whatever they put the boots on, because that signals what they feel most important about keeping around. This is when you cast an artifact spell, so it doesn't actually combo with this. Okay. I don't think Hullbreacher is a must remove from me because I actually have no plans to draw extra cards. And I'm ramping up to a Fractured Identity soon enough, hopefully. So I think let's let them cast the Pinnacle Emissary if they want to, invest in equipping the Lava Spur Boots to it, and then we get rid of it. Okay, or not. Let's just see if this resolves. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. We'll see if they have more mana to land the Emissary. Astrologian's Planisphere does resolve. Okay, now I can play a Tolarian Academy, play the Planisphere. Sorry. Oh, this is awkward. I can play the Planisphere and Mox Opal, but I have to pick which order. And unfortunately, I need the Opal down in order for Academy to generate mana. So the question is it better to have a counter on my guy or access to Mana Tithe? And I think the answer is definitely Mana Tithe, right? So let's start with Mox Opal, then we'll play the Planisphere. It could not be more obvious that I'm holding up Mana Tithe here. But I think a face-up Mana Tithe is still good, especially when you have Planisphere out. This is just the most obvious Mana Tithe ever, especially when I already played Swords. So that obviously has to resolve, unfortunately for me. But thankfully next turn, well, this thing now has Hexproof. Okay, so they don't know that it's specifically Mana Tithe because they held back on the attack there. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. So I can Fractured Identity something. I wonder if I just Fractured Identity their Planisphere, make my own Planisphere copy. That sounds kind of good. And then I have access to Mox Opal mana. Sounds kind of good, right? Yeah, I think I like that. And then I can put together blockers. I get a counter. I get my own extra creature. And I have Mana Tithe up. This Pinnacle Emissary is still really annoying. So here, do I just double block? Yeah, because it doesn't decrease my artifact counter next turn of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I can play my Battle Sphere. And I have Mana Tithe up if I want to get counters. So it's a little awkward, but Day's Undoing. Shuffles their hand in graveyard, and then you end the turn. Wow. Okay. I don't have any advantage from casting Mana Tithe, do I? No. All right. Well, it's a little annoying. Hopefully I can just spit out a whole bunch of cards, though. Oh, I get Fractured Identity back. That's pretty nice. Okay. Oh, Winds of Abandon. So let us see what we want to do. Maybe I play Thraben Inspector, put both Planispheres on it. They could just crack in with Lava Spur Boots and annihilate me in one go. That would be unfortunate. But okay, I'm going to equip a Planisphere to the Inspector. Equip another Planisphere to the Inspector. Just make the biggest Inspector of all time. Slap down a Mox Pearl. 2 counters. Do you have a counter spell? Galvanic Blast. In response, let's go ahead and play a Containment Priest. Oh, whoops, that's not a non-creature spell. Yeah, no, I was thinking of Reckoner Bankbuster. My bad. Equip here. Actually, is there even any point in equipping there? I guess I might as well just play the Bankbuster. Yeah, my bad. That was foolish. Can play the Bankbuster for 2, and then I don't have enough left to even remove a counter from it. So no, I guess it's better to just put this on Containment Priest. My bad. Kind of forgot it. It needs to be a non-creature spell for that to work. That's okay. I mean, we have access to so much mana now. I can Fractured Identity. I can overload Winds of Abandon. I do give them 1 zillion basic lands if I overload Winds of Abandon, so I want to be a little bit careful about that, especially since it looks like they're setting something up here. Would love to grab Balance, Wrath of God, this kind of thing. Oh, you have your own Tolarian Academy? That makes sense. Well, now I don't really care about giving you access to a bunch of basic lands. especially because getting rid of your artifacts reduces the amount of mana that you can spend. Urza, and then you're going to put Lava Spur Boots on a zillion. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. I do have a chump blocker, but they probably have access to a bunch of removal in the form of burn. Yeah, my artifact deck didn't really get there. I think someone else, maybe like way on the other side of the table, moved into artifacts. It's too bad. Can you swing for lethal? Yeah. Okay. GG. Too bad. Yeah, I assume that they had it. That card, like everyone draws 7, I don't think was previously in the cube. So now I should up my expectation that I'm going to see that one. But all right, on to the next one. Playing against the better artifacts deck is a little tough. And wow, I mean, their start was just absolutely nutty. That is the ideal start with a deck like this. All right, another pretty good hand, I think. They are companioning Lutri, as are about half of all players in these colors. So I'll just start with a Retrofitter Foundry, plain and simple. So something I can do next turn is play a basic. No, sorry. Play a Tolarian Academy, activate Retrofitter Foundry, play Mox Opal, and then I have access to Opal mana, because then I'll have the Foundry, the Opal, and a 1/1. The thing I'm maybe more likely to do, so I will play Academy here. Kind of just want to play the Planisphere, play the Opal, and then the Opal can generate mana. I mean, I wouldn't mind... Oh, do you have Pact of Negation? I wouldn't mind having No More Lies up, though. That's like a weakness of this line. But yeah, now we have a lot of mana, and we have Retrofitter Foundry. That's 2 good things for an artifacts deck to have. So 2 to make a 1/1, 3 to untap is 5. 1 tap sack is 6. So for 6 mana, you can get to a Thopter. And then after that, it's 3 mana. So it's 9 mana to go from nothing to having a 4/4. Plateau. Okay. Playing against Jeskai. Ooh, the Jeskai ramp. They were holding that turn 1 probably. And you're putting Lutri into your hand. Is this a board wipe situation, perhaps? All right, so I'll play a land. I don't really want to spend... I guess I should just play the Thraben Inspector, and then I have 1, 2 for No More Lies if need be. 1, 2, sorry, I have 4 mana there. So I have Mox Opal plus Island for No More Lies, 4 mana on the Foundry. So I could make a servo and crack the crack the clue if I want to. Right, and with this, and essentially whatever they play next turn is going to get countered, and then I'll make a 1/1 and crack my clue, very likely. That's what I'm expecting to happen. And then the turn after that, I can play Mere Battlesphere. 2, 3, 7 mana. I have exactly enough. Okay, so yeah, and if I crack the clue, I get an artifact back, so I don't need to worry about lowering my Academy count down to where I can't play a spell. All right, pass. You're doing nothing? This is scary. This is really looking board wipey, isn't it? Maybe I do not play the Battlesphere, to be honest. Oh yeah, I can actually make a second servo, can I? Maybe that's better, right? Because now I get a servo, untap the Foundry. This is why I was saying that the Foundry is like one of the best mana sinks in the artifacts deck. I guess maybe I should have kept up for No More Lies. So I want to be really mana efficient here and artifact efficient. So I'm just going to make another 1/1. If I get to untap, I will be relieved. It's not looking like it. They're trying to resolve something. They're taking this opportunity when I'm tapped down to resolve something. Galvanic Blast on the 1/1 is perfectly fine. That actually reassures me. Lutri copying it to shoot the job selected creature, maybe? Yeah, no problem, no problem. They kind of went 1 for 1 here, I guess, something like that. It is a bit of a mana investment from me, but they barely lowered my artifact count, so my mana situation is perfectly fine. I get another one back. Ooh, remand is really nice, actually. So let's just equip the planisphere to the... no, I might want to sacrifice that one. So let's put it on 3-bin inspector. And then just pass, right? And that does seem like the right way to tap. Yep, just go ahead and pass. My idea here is I have No More Lies and Remand up and 6 mana, so I can make a Thopter and cast both of those cards. Seems pretty good, right? Seems pretty good. All right, let's see what you've got. So you cannot pay for No More Lies at this point. They highlighted this, but if you target it with something, oh, Tinker. Oh, that is getting very countered. That is getting very countered. Yeah, let me tell you. If you have a counter spell, I have Remand. It can't be Mana Tithe. It can't just be counter spell. Anything you play here is getting remanded. Okay, phew, exiling Tinker, that feels good. I do not consent to pass the turn. Oh, I cannot, unfortunately, play my remand now. So would I rather make a 1/1 or make a Thopter? Okay, well, yeah, interesting. I felt very vulnerable not having access to remand after that, but I have to use the Foundry. Interesting stuff. Okay, well, hey, that's a win. On to the next one. All right, I mean, this looks like an actually functioning artifact stack. This looks like how the artifact stack are supposed to look. Okay, so Tolarian, Mox Pearl, Retrofitter, Grim Monolith. Right? I think that was right. Something like that. Something like that. I love Cube. Don't you love Cube? It hurts my brain. Oh no, we're getting Mana Crypt. My opponent said 2 can play at this game. All right. My turn. Play a land. It should be an island, or it should be a plains probably. Do I want to tap my Grim Monolith? Unclear. I kind of want to just go... Yeah, I think I want to go 1 and tap 3. Play this guy. I really want ways of flickering Mightstone and Weakstone, but I'm just going to kill that. Next and end. And then the idea is at the end of their turn, I'm going to start making Thopters using Mightstone and Weakstone. I think I can do that, right? So I tap Mightstone and Weakstone, and then I activate it for this. It's just you can't cast non-artifact spells. Yeah. Yep. All right. And now we have our mana sink. We have our everything. Very nice. Okay. Make this or play this. Get an extra one. Play a land. Perhaps I just attack with the 1/1 because it's getting sacrificed anyways. In we go. Bonk. And then end. Because Retrofitter Foundry can go off on their turn. Oh, Booster Tutor. I like my opponent's style. One of my favorite cards in the cube for sure. I like my opponent's style. The most fun thing is when you play a Booster Tutor, find a Booster Tutor, and you just start like wheeling them and repeating. You saved that Urza's Saga pack all those years for this? Oh, you're actually... It says reveal the cards. So... Do I get to see all the cards that they looked at? But I'm not seeing them. It says reveal the cards. Do I get to see them afterwards? I would like to see the cards that they don't choose, you know? Oh, you only reveal the one. But isn't this at odds with what it says it does? Like it says reveal the cards and put one of them into your hand. I didn't see the cards anywhere. And then I only saw the one that they put into their hand. It kind of feels like that's actually not quite implemented right. So my opponent's doing like a lot of stuff on my turn. Remember, this is the end of my turn. They went Booster Tutor into Frantic Search, play the Frantic Search, untap their lands. Let's see what they've got for that. Oh yeah, I also did not wield a Candelabra. What was someone doing with that Candelabra? Probably because there was a Gaia's Cradle earlier on. Oh, I'm gonna get stormed out apparently. I wonder if they have Snapcaster Mage or something, and we're going to get this Tendrils of Agony thrown at us at some point. Gitaxian Probe, you may do that. Okay, we're upping our storm count. I wonder if I'm about to get brain freezed. But their storm count is only 1 at the moment. Definitely looks like a brain freeze situation. The name of the game now is to win as quickly as possible. Okay, so I have to be a little bit careful about how I do this. So first I'm actually going to... Okay, hold on. So 2, 3... I really want to have a 4-4. But I want to make the servo first because currently I have 6, I would have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana at my disposal. So that would be make a servo is 2, untap is 5, sacrifice is 6, untap is 9, make a Thopter, but then I can't untap it again. That's okay. All right, so I'll do it that way. I think this is the best use of resources. And then, oh, I actually could sack their Chromatic Star, which I think is worth doing. All right, so I do this. I will tap. At this point, I'm happy to tap the Academy to untap. I don't think I really want to spend my Grim Monolith mana here because I don't really need it right now. I want to do this on a turn when 4 plus whatever mana I have gets me like a multiple of something so that I can, you know, like an extra activation or something. And then I will sacrifice a Thopter, so I'll sack the tapped Thopter here. This takes a long time. I'm sorry to my opponent. Then I will untap, and then I will tap and sack, make a 4-4. And then I will probably just crack Chromatic Star just to draw a card. Mox Opal. Okay, so we get an artifact back. And then I will... Well, actually, now I actually get to use an extra mana. So maybe I do untap and make another Thopter. Yeah, let's do it. It accelerates me a little bit. I think every damage counts here. And this lets me use 1 more mana, so I think I'm breaking even on mana by doing this and gaining an extra Thopter. All right, so I will attack with everything. In with the team. Let's see what you got. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay. 3 more Mana Crypt losses, and they're out. And I'll play a land, and I will end the turn. And they're going to play a bunch on my turn because they're a Storm deck. Oh, nope, they're not. Okay. They lost, so they go to 5. Okay. All right, we got there. Yeah, I was just afraid of them just absolutely going off with a brain freeze or something. Copying a brain freeze a bunch of times. Cube is fun. Cube is fun. Unpredictable, very unpredictable game mode. So we're 2-1. I don't think our deck is the best, but we're just going to keep running up the score. Okay, this hand, much less convincing, but I feel like balance kind of makes it keepable. You'll notice we have not faced a single aggro deck yet. That's pretty notable to me. Do I play Chromatic Star? No. Kind of like the idea of just having removal and or counters up forever. What are you gonna play? Vampiric Tutor. Could just counter that, but let's let you do that. Thing about these tutor cards, I do think Vampiric Tutor is one of the better black cards, I'm pretty sure, but putting a card on top is so much worse than putting a card into play. Just so much worse. All right, no need to play Laura in here. I mean, I have a bunch of counters and stuff, so if they play a really good card, that's probably whatever they searched for. Seems like they're doing Storm as well. A lot of people are liking the Storm stuff. Oh, I do not like that card. Echo of Eons. So you can flash it back. Well, that's going to get very countered, though, if you try to do that to me. Emperor of Bones. I accept. That card's really good. This might be the best black card in the cube, actually. I way underestimated this at first. I didn't really perceive how it could go off. So I'm going to immediately attempt to Swords that guy. You may attempt to counter, but I do have a remand up. So they just exiled this card, and it is irretrievable. So I'm really, really happy with how that worked out for me. I'll go ahead and play a Retrofitter Foundry. Extremely unlikely to want to activate it, but I'm really relieved that my opponent is not a Storm deck, actually. They seem to be a Reanimator deck. Let's see if they Echo of Eons here. I can actually counter it with No More Lies. I don't want to counter it with Remand. Oh, you are going to get No More Lies rather than being remanded. I do not want to see that card ever again. Kind of a non-nombo or whatever, a non-combo with the Echo of Eons, I must say. All right, I'll go ahead and play Chromatic Star. Now, they could Echo me, and then if I remand them, I'm just giving their Echo back. So I probably allow this, right? Hand and graveyard, then draw 7. Nah, you can spend full price for that next turn. You can go ahead and spend full price for that next turn. Oh, it just stays exiled. Right. Oh, the then exile, it happens from the flashback. Today I learned, or maybe I knew that at one time, but today I remembered. Awesome. So you remand a flashback card, it actually still gets exiled. That makes remand a good amount better, doesn't it? They don't get the card back, and you get to draw a card. Pretty awesome. Okay, hey, we're at 3 wins, 1 loss. Given the quality of my deck, if I can get 5 wins, I'll be really happy. If I can get 4 wins, I'll be fairly happy. Not really expecting a trophy with this one, but hey, we're fighting the good fight. And if I can just get my gems back and live to draft another day, then I'll consider that a victory. Yeah, I don't think this can be kept, can it? I mean, well, Chromatic Star can filter 1 time for a blue. And I don't need to do that if I draw another artifact, but I'm going to want to sack this anyways, because you don't want this to be a 2-card land. Wrath of God is kind of nice, though. It kind of saves you from having a really bad hand, because if your opponent has a creature-based deck at least, then you can catch up. I think it's just a mulligan. This hand is, if anything, it's at least as bad. Let's put it that way. But I guess I can do a turn 1 Mightstone and Weakstone, draw 2. That's pretty good. It would be nicer if I already had an island out when I play all those cards. Do I want to do it? Turn 1 Mightstone and Weakstone, draw 2, then play a Grim Monolith? Yeah, okay. Oh, no, sorry. I have to play the Grim Monolith first. What am I talking about? I have to tap this to play the Mightstone and Weakstone anyways. Shouldn't have played the Mox Pearl. I'm clearly too sleepy to be trusted. Turn 2 Mightstone and Weakstone is what I mean. I think it's fine, because I'm threatening Mightstone and Weakstone, but I could also play Skyclave Apparition if they play, let's say, a Bristly Bill. Although maybe I just want to play Mightstone and Weakstone for -5/-5. I don't know. If I can avoid that, I think that's good. So let's just exile that thing. If this leaves, they just get a 2/2, which is perfectly fine. Caracas into 6. Okay, 6 is going to get -5/-5, ironically. So Mightstone and Weakstone for -5/-5, for Fiend's Tower to give me access to the Planisphere. This thing can be used to untap the Grim Monolith. A little bit unfortunate not to get to draw 2. I will go ahead and play this tap to have access to blue mana, and then I will attack with the Skyclave Apparition naturally. And then we can play the Planisphere next turn, but now we need to draw something. Like if they just play like a 4/4 here or something, or a Nadu, then I'm in trouble. So Nadu and Caracas. Okay, I see how it goes. So I fired off my removal too early is the lesson here. Should have been a little bit more careful. Yep, that's pretty nasty. That is a nasty one, I must say. Go ahead and play this, and then I can play a land. Probably I will just untap Mightstone and Weakstone. I mean, sorry, untap Grim Monolith with Mightstone and Weakstone, but I kind of need to find like Wrath of God, something like that. So maybe it's actually better to just draw a card now that I think about it, rather than setting up mana. Yeah, they also have Skull Clamp for their Nadu. Are they going to bounce Nadu? No, they're just going to Skull Clamp infinite times. Well, I have basically 1 turn. Okay, at least this can't be targeted with Skull Clamp or with Caracas. But yeah, you get to do 2 Nadu triggers. Pest Infestation. Okay, we can concede unless we draw either Winds of Abandon, Balance, or Wrath of God. Those are our 3 outs. If we don't draw that next turn, then I think I can just wrap this one up. Oh, they skull clamped their guy. Okay. Okay. This turn is just gonna take a while. Okay, next time I get priority, let's just crack the clue. And if I don't see Wrath, then I have more information about whether to just concede on the spot. That's not Wrath. So Nadu, has this been targeted twice now or just once? That's the issue with one issue with Cube is like you can watch how far ahead your opponent is, and then you just know you have like a 1% chance of winning. But it takes so long for them to prove it. Like, okay, if you get to untap with this Pest Infestation, I'm pretty much cooked. But if I have a Wrath, then we're pretty much even. Okay, that's Wrath of God. So like I have to wait for my turn to happen in order to find out. Now you do get your 2/2 back. Actually, I should have attacked with Skyclave Apparition first, right? Oh yeah, they have Caracas. Okay, all right, forgot about that. So even Wrath didn't get me out of that. Too bad. Yeah, so clearly I should not have spent the Mightstone and Weakstone on the 6. I mean, I don't know if that's clear. It's more like, in retrospect, I wish I hadn't spent Mightstone and Weakstone on 6. But, you know, like, Nadu, Habizu, my cat is doing gymnastics over here. But having, you know, I mean, having them play Nadu is kind of the worst case scenario. And 6 is a combo piece that they're clearly going to want. If they're in the land stack, it's like the core combo piece in their deck. So I think it kind of makes sense to spend it. But it did not work out for us that time. I'll tell you that much. All right. Can I keep Chromatic Star this time? Pretty terrible hand without access to blue. Chromatic Star gives me 1-time access to blue. I think I'll keep this one. So Chromatic Star on 1, then I have Remand after that. It gives me like 3 draws to find blue before I'd want to play something. Yeah, there you go. In that case, maybe I even just go with Retrofitter Foundry on 1. So that I can hold up Remand and also start my Thopter ladder if need be. Deep Cavern Bat, that's an annoying one. Aang doesn't even really work with that very well at all. This guy looks so scary. Scariest bat. Okay, well, especially if they take Aang. Hey, they don't know that I have a Wrath of God, though, so that's pretty good. All right, we'll just pass. I will remand anything here. Anything at all is going to get remanded pretty much because it's a face-up remand, so I would really like to cycle it for another card. All right, you may attack me. I accept. I'll take that 1 damage. Too bad Retrofitter Foundry doesn't go straight to making a flyer. All right, I guess I'll tap down. Because I have Wrath up, so. Okay. Play a Plains. I think I might as well attack with my 1/1. And then I'll hold up Remand and also sacking the Servo. Pretty much the first thing they play here, I'm not going to Remand. Go for it. All right, what have we got? What have we got? So they just found whatever card they most want in their deck. It does seem like they're in Reanimator colors. They're also in Storm colors. So there are probably a lot of chase cards in their deck. I'm imagining they are playing a combo deck here. Whatever they cast here, they know I can remand it. But that wouldn't affect them deciding to get the best card in their deck. They're thinking really hard. Really hard. Okay, so they cast Collective Brutality, which is really interesting because it requires them to discard a card. What that means is they want to play this Sin. They were just casting that so that they could get the Sin in their graveyard so you can play Emperor of Bones. Okay, now they're going to exile their Sin and I get to cast Wrath of God. I assume. Because next turn you can adapt. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, all right. Clearly, you cannot attack with Deep Cavern Bat. Well, I'm going to Wrath of God anyways next turn, but I guess I'll just get them here, right? Unless I have some Snuff Out or something. Kind of a strange attack, I guess. So can I actually just airbend Emperor of Bones and make them start their clock over? Is that an option for me? Airbend the Emperor. This thing stays exiled, and then you play it and you exile your Sin. You level up. You get to bring back Deep Cavern Bat, and you have a chance of grabbing... yeah. So you get to play this. Sigh. Maybe I just have to play Wrath of God then. Because the issue is, if I airbend this, they can play it next turn, and then they can adapt it. They get to put Sin into play. Sin puts Deep Cavern Bat into play. Deep Cavern Bat steals Wrath of God from my hand. So I think I'd better go just Wrath of God right now to just deal with this Emperor of Bones. Now, they could recur basically any of that. I think I may actually play a Chromatic Star here, to be honest. I kind of want to start finding answers and accelerating and stuff. Now, they do know about my whole hand, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I'm not even close to Mirror Battlesphere. But let's see what they have. I'm assuming they have a recursion spell after the way that they played that. Okay, maybe not. So I can airbend a spell. So this gives me a little bit of an insurance policy against them just going ahead and reanimating something. I think I do go ahead and play Grim Monolith. I actually can almost flip Aang. That's kind of cool. Now here, I don't really want to tap down. Actually, it's fine to tap down, isn't it? Because worst case scenario, I can play Aang using Grim Monolith if I need to. Okay, good stuff. Ooh, Skyclave Apparition's actually kind of nice. So this involves tapping down to the point that I cannot play Aang. So let's go in with an attack. And I think we're just going to be trying to win off of Retrofitter Foundry. All right, they could always Collective Brutality, but I will definitely just Aang that if they do. Virtue of Persistence. I think that's fine. I'm just going to sacrifice my guy. Oh, does that fizzle, actually? Doesn't have a target. Yeah, that fizzles. So it's actually really good for me. So now I could untap this for 3. Untap this for 3. 1, 2, 3 to untap it. And then I can so I have to tap down Grim Monolith to do this, though. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm on the 4/4, so I actually can just do this. Yeah, I actually can just do this. And I can still play Aang if need be. Okay, this is really grindy, but it seems to be working. Going with this guy, and then I'll probably... Now is the moment to tap Grim Monolith. This thing didn't have haste or anything, right? Yeah. So I'll tap Grim Monolith, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get to play Mirror Battlesphere. They could have a board wipe, but I can Aang any board wipe that they have. And if they're tapping Ancient Tomb, they're going pretty low. Like, I'm representing exactly lethal in attacks right now. Essentially, any spell is going to get airbent in this situation. Yeah, that is getting very airbent. And looks like we win. Yep. Face up Aang is pretty annoying for the opponent. Yep. All right. Hey, so 4 and 2, we have an opportunity to actually make a gem profit. But, you know, given the lack of power in my deck and the fact that I think I got cut in the artifacts lane a little bit late in the draft, I'm pretty happy with having 4 wins already. All right, I had to step away yesterday, but I'm back at it again with this extremely scrappy artifacts deck. We have only, well, 0 losses left to give. So we got to win this one if we want to get 5 wins and make a profit in gems. Okay, this hand looks perfectly fine to me. It's not one of those grotesque cube starts that you see pretty often where you just play a million cards on turn 1, but hey, we have a counter spell. We have 4 things to do on turn 2. Could be a lot worse, I would say. Most likely my plan is just, honestly, I'd probably just hold up No More Lies and Remand. I don't think I really have any reason to charge out here. So long as I have all these counters in my hand, I'm kind of in control, I would say. Kind of in control of the pace of the game. It would be nice to land a Planisphere sooner rather than later. Okay, the opponent is actually stuck, it seems. Well, it's an interesting question. They could be stuck, or they could just have things that they don't want to get countered and clearly see that I have untapped blue mana. So could be stuck on green. Okay, they just got a Sun Billow Verge, and they're going to attempt to play a Nissa. So I might want to go Remand into Planisphere next turn, holding up No More Lies. Just send that Nissa back to your hand. Remand is kind of a nice one to use early in the game when they're not actually getting value from casting the card. And then we go to my turn. I will play a Plains, and I'll go ahead and play the Planisphere. And now in the future, we are going to get value for non-creature spells that we play. So down comes our Planisphere, and on to the opponent's turn. We're not playing Grim Monolith because I really want to hold up No More Lies. Now, Nissa is going to get No More Lies, and we get to go to a 2-2. Next turn, I will play Grim Monolith, going up to a 3-3. And then we actually have access to Fractured Identity from then on. So hopefully I'm in the driver's seat. I also have a Philia, although it doesn't really work well with any of my stuff. However, I will say Philia means that I can actually tap my Grim Monolith and then flicker it, right? I can flicker it and it will come back untapped. So that's kind of sweet. It does mean I don't actually have to invest 4 in order to untap my Grim Monolith if I don't want to. Okay, the opponent was actually on lots of different stuff. Oh, Comet. That's a heck of a card right there. Well, guess who's going to be making a Comet next turn? I love Fractured Identity. This card is bonkers. All right, I'm hoping they roll a 1. Okay, very good. So I get 2 hasty squirrels, right? Yeah, I don't mind having a Comet at all. All right, go to my turn, and I think I like the idea of tapping the Grim Monolith. So let's get rid of that Comet, and then I'm going to start rolling. Yeah, this is pretty ugly. This is pretty ugly. And then I will roll the Comet, please. 3. So I get to bring back No More Lies. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would say this is going fairly well. Yep. All right. Yeah, see, that's why Fractured Identity is so good. And by the way, the thing I really want to do, which is not going to happen, but what I really want to do is I want to play the, what's it called? The Ocelot Pride, which doubles your tokens if you have the City's Blessing. And then you can Fractured Identity, and I could have made 2 Comets. Comets is probably legendary, but, you know, in principle, you could use Fractured Identity to make 2 tokens. All right, on to the next one. So we actually made a gem profit with our scrappy artifacts deck that I don't know if it got cut, but close enough to getting cut. This hand looks good. I mean, I love any hand with a turn 1 Thraben Inspector. I think I do play it because I really like the idea of turn 2 being able to play an island, playing Retrofitter Foundry, and keeping up Mana Tithe. Thraben Inspector is a little bit weaker for sure outside of the white aggro decks. My deck is definitely not a white aggro deck. Nothing happening here. Okay, well, now I'm feeling pretty much in the driver's seat with a Mana Tithe up, a Aang up, and a Swords to Plowshares, and I can activate Retrofitter Foundry or Crack My Clue. And that's pretty much in the order in which I want to do things. You're going to play an Orcish Bowmaster. So when it enters, you would get to shoot me for 1 and amass Orcs 1. So I'm debating whether I want to Swords this or Mana Tithe it. I think this needs to get Mana Tithed because, first of all, I've been thinking long enough about this so they know that I have a counter. And if I Swords it, it leaves behind a residual Orc, which just feels not so efficient. I can probably Sword something. Maybe they're going to play Nadu or something. No, they actually don't have, they would need green for that, but maybe I can Sword something that doesn't give them incremental value. Here I can make a 1/1. Okay, so you are going to add a mana of any color. Deep Cavern Bat. Yeah. Deep Cavern Bat. Do I just let this happen or do I swords it? So if I let it happen, I can Aang it, airbend, swords, and they get something else. I think I just swords it. Just spend the resource. So basically Deep Cavern Bat, you gain 1 and I reveal my hand. A little bit annoying to reveal my hand. A lot of the best things about this hand are the surprise factor. Winds of Abandon is kind of nice. This just incentivizes me to play Aang like immediately on anything that they play. I'll Aang it. They tapped this for a color, so they didn't add mana because they needed to in order to play that and the other thing. Okay, so I guess I just airbend that because then I get to have Aang in play, unless they're going to counter this. That could be what's happening. This just means I get to have Aang in play when they cast it. Should be able to cast it right now. We'll see if they do. I actually don't mind that at all. No, okay, Infernal Grasp. Sure. Spending the resource. This is pretty bad on the whole. I'll just go in with this. Yeah, and I will let them Time Twister. They do have a lot more mana than me, so it's looking pretty risky. Time Warp. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I did not put any pressure on them, unfortunately. So we'll see if they Time Twister here. 1, 2, Time Spiral. Okay. And you untap everything? All right, so far everything has been symmetrical. We're pretty much at parity with all this. But now it is their turn, and their hand is completely full. So that's a nice advantage for them. Oh, they got their Time Warp back. Okay, sure. Still, they're just dirtling. Like, they haven't actually done anything here. Oh, I could have cast Aang on Time Warp. Maybe I was supposed to do that. Maybe I was supposed to do that, but then they're just going to Time Warp next turn. Basically, what they want to do here is spend their hand down and then Time Twister. Okay, Crabomination can definitely get Aanged. Right, so when this enters, you get to play a bunch of stuff. Yeah, let's attempt an Aang. I assume it's going to get countered. We're probably losing slowly here, but they have yet to prove it to me. But we are losing painfully slowly. This is... Okay, now you can play Crabomination. So basically, forces them to spend their turn doing this. Okay, you got Astrologian's Planisphere out of the deal. Okay, I can live with that. Unfortunately, if I Skyclave Apparition the Crabomination, you are getting a 7/7. So what I can do is tap for 3. 3 for Chromatic Star and Skyclave Apparition. That's not very good. Oh, I can actually Waterbend Aid to transform it. That's kind of cool. Okay, I think I want to do probably Skyclave Apparition plus Chromatic Star is the way to go. Apparition, get rid of Crabomination. They have 1 mana up. They could Mana Tithe, Pact of Negation, Sword Splashers. Oh, hold on. With mana value 4 or less. Yeah, my bad. It's owner or its controller gets a thing. The owner. So I would get a 2/2 out of this deal. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I forgot that this is restricted to 4 or less. And then Chromatic Star. Haven't played with this card in who knows how long. So they are crashing in with a 5/5. But I think I have pressure on them. But I assume they have options. I mean, like the double Time Warp, draw 14 is like a little hard to contest. Vampiric Tutor, okay, you're going to get a, I don't know what, Snapcaster Mage or something and take a bunch of extra turns. I'm sure we're losing slowly, but we're losing very slowly. Orcish Bowmasters, okay. Cannot kill any of my stuff. You have Pyroclasm or something? What's in this cube? So they shuffled everything in, but they already drew whatever they went searching for. Okay, actually Tolarian into Wrath is pretty nice. I hope that they don't make me shuffle all of this in. Ah, I see. Right, they get 7 triggers off of the Bowmaster. Yeah, Bowmasters was a totally sweet addition to the cube. I do get a 2/2 here, by the way, because I'm the owner of that card. So I'll block, I'll play Wrath, and I'm just hoping that they do not have a counterspell for Wrath. I haven't seen any counters from them yet. So I feel like it's very possible. Currency Converter, yeah, okay. This card's really hard to get off. All right, Snap Block, I'm Wrathing next turn, so just preserve my life total. If I don't resolve Wrath, I'm losing, right? So and then I will, sure, I can tap like this. Let's see if it resolves. I mean, if it doesn't resolve, I'm very lost. Memory Lapse. I can make enough. Oh, on top of my library. Yeah. Okay, so we just pass, and then I'm probably just chump blocking the 8/8 next turn. The other thing that I could do, let's see. Yeah, I'm just chump blocking the 8/8 next turn. Okay. Yeah, they just have a lot more power in their deck than I do. And I didn't really succeed at putting pressure on out of the gate. I mean, I did get them down to 11, but I needed more. Draw a card, then discard a card. And then you can play an island. No, you can make a treasure, rather, next turn. Okay. So I tap the Foundry, make a 1/1, chump block the 8/8. So I make a 1/1. And then also, let's see. So with Currency Converter, Containment Priest does exile the 2/2. So that's kind of cool. I'll go ahead and block. And I'll take the rest. Take 7 here, which is not beautiful to me, but Palantir, that card can take over a game. Yeah, the opponent's deck is pretty sweet. It's certainly better than mine, but my deck is quite weak in the end. I'm feeling very grateful for our 5 wins. This Wrath of God is face up. They know I'm drawing it. Oh, 2 on top. Lose 2? Yeah, I'll do that. Or lose 1 right now, is it? Oh, lose. Target opponent may have you draw a card. You mill X card. Right, it shouldn't have had 1 influence counter at the beginning of this. Shouldn't I have lost 1 life? Oh, the total mana value. Hold on. No. You didn't mill anything. Okay, I don't know. I think I should have lost a life there. I'm not really understanding, but if someone knows what happened, let me know. This is going to not resolve, so let's just ask them to show me the counterspell. Okay, all right. That's good news. So then 4, 5, 6. That's pretty unfortunate. That's pretty unfortunate that I can't play my Mirror Battlesphere. But okay, it's only a Mirror Battlesphere after all. 1 other target non-land permanent. So I can actually flicker Palantir when it gets up to having a bunch of influence counters on it. Okay, you do that. I can actually flicker the Palantir to reset the number of counters. That's pretty cool. I like that. Could technically flicker their Coalition Relic if they look like they're doing something bonkers with it. So Time Spiral is exiled. Time Twister and Memory Lapse are both in the bin. Time Warp, you say? Yeah, that's pretty annoying. Dang, who is passing around all these Time Warps, Time Spirals, Memory Lapses? That's pretty unfortunate. Okay, well, I do have an answer for that guy. Okay. So it's going to have to be a land, so there's no point in flashing in Containment Priest here. They just wanted the treasure. interesting. I wonder what that treasure is going to do. So actually, with Palantir on the stack, with the trigger on the stack, I could flicker this and reset the number of influence counters. Target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you mill X cards where X is the number of influence counters. I don't really think it's worth doing. I will lose the life. Oh, that's a lot of life. That was a lot of life right there. I wasn't expecting the 5 mana spell on top. Okay. Draw a card and discard a card. There are 12 cards left in the library. Dang, I was really hoping they would start putting non-lands under here so that I could hit them with the Containment Priest surprise. Oh, it's when it attacks, not when it enters. Right. So I'm actually just dead, right? Because, well, no, I'm not. I can play this, make a 1/1 and triple block. So that's the thing to do. Oh, or I can, I don't have swords mana anymore. It's too bad. Well, swords is a good one. So let's see if they have a removal spell. Okay, yeah, if they had a removal spell, I was just dead there. But at least I got to block. Then we go to the end step and I have to let them draw a card. Maybe I should have been letting them draw a card this whole time and just hoping to win on decking. They haven't shown me that many ways to win. It could be I just try to win on decking. Like, how many more threats can they have left when their whole deck is full of, like, time warps, memory lapses, time twisters, time spirals, currency converters, palantirs, mana rocks. Yeah, maybe we can just deck them out. I think that's my new game plan. I mean, honestly, it seems like they don't have a removal spell and they don't have a counter spell. I'm not sure what's in their hand. It's probably not a creature, not a removal spell, not a counter spell. Oh, okay. Fallen Shinobi. Yeah, I'll just play Mere Battlesphere here. I have infinite chump blockers. I would say the odds are not 0 that I can just last for 12 turns or however long it takes for them to just deck out. Yeah, you get to draw infinite cards. You can basically just have your whole deck in your hand right now. That would be ideal for me. One on top, one on bottom. Go ahead and draw. You're just going to draw cards forever. All right. Play a land. Play. No, I must tap Tolarian Academy here. I cannot tap off of white mana. So 3, bonk, bonk, bonk. And we need 1 more. I don't want to make it too obvious that I'm holding up white specifically. So let's see if Mere Battlesphere resolves. I'm glad they played the ninjutsu card. That strongly suggests that they do not have another creature. So I get a whole bunch of chump blockers. Unfortunately, they're not servos. That's really annoying. Okay, well, hey, I still have chump blockers. All right, well, you do get infinite mana off of mana drain next turn. Get 7 mana. I think they have more than enough mana, though. It's too bad I can't do the whole Containment Priest thing. Like, Currency Converter is a lethal threat here, probably. Okay. I wonder what this is. I wonder if they have the Storm Drain card. Yeah, their deck is a pretty cool blue-black control deck. Okay, Emrakul. But I will say, if I'd had a more aggressive deck, I think I would have had a very good shot against them. They really were not doing anything for a very long time. And their, like, take an extra turn and wheel cards were all very, very slow, like 5 mana plus. But on the other hand, my deck was just not that aggressive. I didn't really land in the white aggressive lane, and I also didn't really land in the artifacts lane. So definitely a bit of a struggle here in terms of the draft. I feel very lucky to have, with this pretty mediocre pile of cards that has like very low synergy, not that much acceleration, one piece of power that's just a mox, you know, I feel very lucky to have landed at 5 wins. I think that's above expectation for this deck. So next time, maybe I shouldn't have gotten too married to the Tolarian Academy. Kind of felt like I could corner the artifacts lane from there on out, especially since it got passed to me, which is a pretty strong indication that, well, it's an almost certain indication that the person to my right was not in artifacts. But seems like someone else at the table maybe was taking some artifact pieces, like not wheeling that candelabra. It could have been for the Gaia's Cradle, I guess. But yeah, all in all, feels like I kind of scraped by there and got pretty lucky in my games. So, all right, we'll be after this probably drafting. I think I'll do one sealed to prep for the weekend because there's a Lorwyn Eclipsed Arena Direct Win-a-Box event that coming up this weekend. So tomorrow I'm gonna do either the day after tomorrow or tomorrow I'll do some sealed prep. Yes, so tomorrow I'll do sealed prep. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to try to play in the Arena Direct, one run each. So if you want to see that, go ahead and click subscribe using the link in the description below. And until then, have tons of fun playing Magic, everyone, and don't be afraid to splash.